situation with violence on the street, or
Well, you've got to give us something to start with. Like where you said you've written a few books.
yeah, I've written 5 books.
What have you written, sorry?
Fiction or non-fiction?
It's usually on one quote that's in the Bible. Matthew 25, verse 31, 32, 30. When the Son of Man arrives in his glory, he'll separate one from the other like a shepherd separates his sheep from the goats.
Yeah.
He'll put the sheep on his left, they put the goats on his left and the sheep on his right. He'll say, "Come ye on the right, you're worthy into the founding for the world." What I believe he means is the new world. And until mankind work that out, both Christian, both all religious denominations, mankind will not live in peace. Because there are 2 types of souls in the world. Arseholes and good souls. There's a little bit of, laughter thrown in there just because, you got to look on the bright side of things. But really, we are being led by dark souls in the world. The good souls don't see it. Okay? Because they're unaware of it. And these dark souls move their way into jobs, to high positions, to managing roles. I know it sounds like a little bit of a fairy tale, but I guarantee you, when you work them out, it's no fairy tale because they know exactly who you are. And people want to talk about religions and fallen angels and all that stuff. Well, the fallen angel had to fall from somewhere, didn't they? So they got the knowledge. Very, very smart, mind you. And until mankind works that out, you're going to get destruction in the world. And that's all I have to say.
But it's already been worked out. That's Christianity.
Yeah, it's in everything.
That's not in Christianity. Christianity is the way out.
You've got sheep and goats. If you're a Christian and you think that you believe and understand the Bible, well then you better live in the truth of it. Because everyone will be responsible for that if there is an end time like they say there is. Like in Islam they say there's a judgment, in Christianity a judgment, in Hindu it's the Kali Yuga. And then in other faiths there's all different things of an end time. But
there was a time when I used to believe in correlation of different traditions and end times, but I don't now.
Whether there's an end time or there isn't, I'm saying if there is, people will be responsible for their lack of knowledge from the heart and the intellect that they've understood all the holy books. Now God didn't create religion, man did. So therefore it's man-made, but that doesn't mean there's no truth in it. Right? So you're responsible as an individual. You're responsible as an individual to interpret your own way. And as I said, that one quote in the Bible, that doesn't mean I'm a Christian either. It doesn't mean I'm a Muslim. It doesn't mean I'm a Hindu. I don't really belong to any denomination, although I was brought up as a Catholic. The thing is that until we work that out in the world, you will not get peace. Because there's some people, and when the Lord says, when Jesus also says that love thy neighbour as you love thyself, what he means is he knew in the future there was going to be a different lot of religions coming along. So you have to learn how to love in that sense. But when people get a little bit abrupt with their talking, when you're talking about such topics, they go, hang on, look, you're not being very peaceful there. I said, did Jesus look very peaceful when he was knocking tables over in the temples? He might have looked a little angry. But the thing is that love can be severe sometimes. So therefore we have to understand, if we think that we hold the truth in our hands, we're more responsible. No matter what religion, whether it's even not a religion. If you feel that you hold the truth in your hands and in your heart, well, you live in it correctly. And until then, until you see that the world has been divided up into 2 groups, you won't get peace.
It's like class warfare.
Don't go. I do have one question.
Yeah.
You say that the good souls don't see the dark souls. What if they do, but there's just nothing they can do about it? Because they're good. And in order to fight the dark souls...
The good souls can't see the dark souls, but there's nothing they can do about it.
I'm saying, what if they can?
If they can see it, but they don't do anything because there's nothing they can do about it, well, therefore, they only strengthen it by not doing anything about it and by not allowing themselves to be more staunch in their volition in life, to look and have dignity within themselves, to say, hey, listen, man, I don't have to say I dislike you, but I'll just remove myself from your energy.
Sun Tzu says that do what is hard while it's still easy. So that means that anything is possible, it just might take a little bit of time.
But there seems like a lot of people are trying to be perfect. And the thing is, over-perfection is an imperfection. Not to say that we can ever be really perfect, but an over-perfection is an imperfection. That's what's happening in the world. We're trying too hard with things that are unnecessary. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
if you become too scientific in your belief system, you become stunted in your growth spiritually. And therefore, spiritually doesn't necessarily mean religion.
If you become too scientific, actually lose your ability to analyse the
Well, there was
universe anyway.
Neanderthal man, Homo erectus and Homo sapiens all lived on the planet at the same time. And the last 100 years of the textbooks have been written that way. Yet the Hobbit was found in Indonesia just 8 years ago. So therefore, those books are wrong now. So science can only explain what already is. It's very earthly. So therefore, who's to say that science might in 20 years' time say there is a God? Because we've just proved it. So that's just some for atheists. Because if you ask me, atheists is causing a lot of big problems in the world.
One of the things
There's also a lot of scientists that are journalistic and try to make up things that got no ability to talk about.
I mean, I don't believe in God, but I don't call myself an atheist precisely for that purpose.
That's fair enough, because everyone, we've given free will. So therefore, you're allowed to have your own belief system, whatever it is.
To me, religion is, it's sort of like a group of people that come across this large cake, right? And they're studying the cake, and somebody finds a piece of paper with supposedly a recipe on it. And this piece of paper says, you know, it's got sultanas and it's got cherries in it. And somebody's looking at the cake and says, no, I don't see any cherries in this cake. And he says, no, I've got the recipe, it says there's cherries in the cake. And then somebody's got a different recipe and it says the cake's made up of something else.
Yeah.
And they're arguing over these recipes. I mean, I'm not strictly an atheist, I don't necessarily think that science
So therefore,
today
you're
has...
trying to say, call yourself
What
an
I'm trying to say
agnostic.
is, if you want to study
Until
God's
you're
creation, study the actual creation itself.
That's right.
If you want to understand God, understand what He made. You can't understand God based on a few bits of paper that somebody says that, you know, supposedly came from God. But God made the universe, well, supposing God made the world, He made it a particular way for a reason. Like, and the actual way the world is, and the way we are, and the way nature is, would reveal more about the Creator than any book or any interpretation of that book could ever.
Yeah,
hope
so
to
we
do.
can understand the earthly word too. That doesn't mean we neglect it. I'm not saying that at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
You know, when I say you're
But I'm
being
saying
too
that
earthly
that's-
and too scientific in your thinking, it means that's not wrong, but it's to keep it solely as that can actually stunt your growth. That's what I meant. So if you can bring the both
Talk
together,
about holisticism.
yeah, holisticism,
Yeah.
spirituality, and science
I'm not saying
meeting
we
each
should.
other
I'm not saying we disregard
can
spirit.
create a bridge for you spiritually. So
I'm not saying we
really,
disregard
the earth and the intellect can create a bridge to the spirit.
I mean, there may be
And,
more to the
that's the way I
universe
look
than the
at it.
physical realm. That definitely could be true.
So until
But-
I feel that we believe that there are some very smart individuals out there that know the people seeking, not so much through religion, but seeking a higher level of the creation, well, they're out there. Don't worry about that. And they get picked on a lot, right? And the darkness don't ever want anyone to know about it. And a fallen angel will always not tell you who they are. But the thing is if people think angels exist, well, don't you think fallen ones do?
Fallen angels aren't human beings.
Ah, that's true. They're an angel. Hurry, H-U-R-R-Y. Anthony Hurry. Yeah, hurry up. Yeah. Wonderful. Oh, I've written 5 books and wrote my first one 17 years ago, which was a music book on how to play music. So yeah, but I respect all the religions, how they are, you know. There's
Your name Anthony Hurry.
yeah,
Okay.
Anthony Hurry, but there's a lot of dogma is what causes a lot of difficulties within the religion face.
Emmanuel
and the
Kant,
hierarchies.
he just to be the devil's advocate,
Yeah.
excuse the pun, he said that anything that cannot be disproven is not philosophy. It's impossible to disprove, it's not philosophy. And this created the Enlightenment, the Renaissance. And so he sort of believed that there needed to be a revolution in thinking in order to move forward.
Yeah.
That sort of contradicts the idea of holisticism to some extent.
What was that last one before you said the last thing on holisticism?
Well, sometimes you need to reject certain ideas in order to move forward. That's what Immanuel Kant said.
Put them aside. You don't necessarily have to reject them.
Well, to put them aside, yeah, which is the same as temporarily rejecting them.
Yeah. Yeah. You could say that. Depends on your interpretation of rejection.
Well, how would you interpret it?
Rejection.
Well, how would you interpret what Kant did?
The word reject, as opposed to putting it aside. Explain that, or no?
Yeah, what do you mean? So you're saying...
I would say to reject is to it's sort of like if you've been an atheist, you're rejecting God.
Yeah.
If you turn around from being an atheist, you've accepted Him a little bit more. You know.
Yeah.
We never know God because God's omnipotent, and it's not for the human brain to really work out. So we can only know through our own volition and our strength through our heart and soul. And then that was what will create a bridge to the higher realms of our spiritual sense of ourselves. But rejection is a word, and if you keep in archaeology, I would say, how do you study spirituality? Through your own experience, I suppose. It doesn't matter what book you grab, whether you're grabbing the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, or the Guru Granth in Sikh.
I believe Gandhi used to read the Bhagavad Gita on the toilet.
Yeah, well, you know, all the books have...
Gandhi's ideas of the Bhagavad Gita
all the
were
books
very
have
much
some
his
sort
ideas.
of thing to offer mankind, but the thing is that they're all coming to one point. There's a belief of God, whether it's even Buddhism too, you know.
You should have been here for my talk.
The only thing is that it's left up to our interpretation. We're responsible as an individual for ourselves. Simple as that. So we have to find the strength to understand the world through whatever way we can feel better as us. So that's why the free will comes into it. You're allowed to do whatever you want, but you are responsible for it.
But there are some countries, if you start saying something against the customs and place,
In my thinking.
I think little talk groups like this is what helps, and it's what the people need.
There used
Not
to
to
be
be
a
shy to
microphone.
talk, and not to like. I've just noticed with this talking, no one's got really angry at anybody about anything. Everyone's just,
There are people that used to come that do get angry.
I'm just saying now at the moment they're just sort of
they
being
finally
very,
gave up
very
coming.
accepting of
One
what
of them
they're
I
doing.
rang said it's too
It doesn't
cold.
matter whether it's science or that's the way it needs to be discussed.
We don't agree with what you say.
No, I know.
We respect your right to say it.
And that's the important thing is if people can get around and not agree, you don't care if they don't agree. Most of the people don't anyway.
Sometimes as a leader, though, you do need to make a decision. If you need, for example, a building to be built. Sometimes
Who's
there's
a leader though? Gee, Julie Gillard or what? I don't know. Well, what's a leader these days? A leader. I'll tell you what, we're in
You're a leader. I'm a leader. We are all leaders. Sometimes we are followers. Sometimes we're leaders. It's how you approach the world. It's